Progressive magazine XI number 2840 words at the rate 100 word per minute. So be ready, start. The Indian economy has a great deal of underlying strength. The sustained growth of industrial sector and the investments made in modernization and upgradation will show results in terms of higher exports. This, in fact, is the real answer to the balance of payments position. I have every hope that the momentum of export growth will be sustained and enhanced. If necessary, we must be prepared to restrain domestic consumption to some extent in certain areas in order to release supplies for export. We have resisted the temptation to cope with the short term difficulties in our balance of payments by ad hoc import regulation through detailed import licensing. Such a process would be self defecting as it will disrupt the economy, inhibit exports, and weaken our attempts at modernization. The composition of our imports has changed greatly during the 90s. In 1990-91, 65% of our imports consisted of a few bulk commodities, food grains, edible oils, fertilizers, petroleum, and metals, where direct import regulation through foreign exchange allocation is relatively easy. In 1997-98, these bulk commodities accounted for only 33% of our imports. The other imports cover a vast range of raw materials, capital goods, chemicals, and industrial components. Direct regulations of these through foreign exchange allocation is difficult and could well lead to delays and inefficiency. Hence, the non-bulk import bill has to be managed through more effective use of indirect instruments. Later in this speech, I will put before you some measures to discourage low priority imports which go towards the consumption of upper income groups. Kit culture based consumerism is not the objective of our industrial and trade policy and must be discouraged. Industrial policy has an important role to play in stimulating production which can substitute efficiently for imports. Today, towards this and the government will ensure that domestic production of items which are imported in substantial quantity is maximized and will re-examine and remove any restrictions which stand in the way. Let me now turn to the special thrust areas in this budget. Successive budgets have sought to tackle the basic problems of poverty and unemployment directly, a process which has been greatly accelerated since 1991. In that year, actual expenditure on rural development, social services, and food and cloth subsidies amounted to rupees 1900 crores. In the central budget, the greater part of the expenditure in these areas is for directly targeted programs to improve employment and the earning capacity of the poor and of vulnerable groups like scheduled castes and tribes and weaker sections. Provide them with basic services like education, health care, and water supply, and subsidize some items of essential consumption. In 1998-99, the budget estimates provided rupees 8,600 crores of the same activities. I have not included in this total the expenditure on agriculture and the fertilizer subsidy, which has increased substantially this year. Under the Integrated Rural Development Program, over 25 million families below the poverty line have been assisted to take up income generating activities. The total investment under this program since the beginning of the sixth plan has been over rupees 10,000 crore, including the term credit provided by the financial institutions. I am happy to inform the honorable members that under the twin program employment generation for the rural poor national rural employment program and rural landless employment guarantee program 67 crore man days of employment was generated during 1997-98 as against the target of 50 crore man days. The present strategy of direct attack on rural poverty through the existing major programs of self-employment and wage employment will be continued and made more cost effective. Employment is the most urgent need of our people. Much of the employment growth will come from growth in agriculture and in labor intensive agro processing industries and services. However, a direct attack on the problem of unemployment is essential. We therefore propose to give a special thrust to all programs of employment generation. It is proposed to merge into a single program and to decentralize its implementation. This merged program will operate throughout the country, will be funded 75% by the center. Poverty and unemployment are intense in certain disadvantaged regions, and existing employment programs fall short of needs. Hence, in addition to the reorganized national program, it is proposed to launch a new intensive rural employment program which will provide additional funds to selected 120 districts which are backward and suffer from acute unemployment. In this year, when we are celebrating the birth century of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our architect of modern India, there is perhaps no better way of remembering him than not to remove poverty. I hope the government shall take vigorous steps for this elimination of poverty and unemployment in the country, in particular to the disadvantaged. This shall lead to better social and political situation in the country in the times to come. Stop.